This week's blog post is all on rice and long grain rice, the new crops coming to FS25. It details all of the cool things that you can do and the way that it is harvested, sown, cultivated for next time, etc. It does go through the differences between rice and long grain rice, and it gives you a greater idea of how things are going to work. Here's the thing about rice. In Farming Simulator 25, not all rice is the same. There are two different types, long grain rice and what we just call rice. How about we take a closer look at the differences between them? So these are the rice types. So obviously your normal rice is the rice that you have to pre-soak the field for, and the long grain rice is the one that you don't. And immediately you see some very stark differences between the two. The max yield per hectare of normal rice is 13,200 litres. The average selling price is $3,300 per 1,000 litres. And your seeds per hectare, and this is very, very different from the long grain rice as you're about to see, is only 156 seeds per hectare. That's really, really good. Your growth duration is only 4 months, so you plant it between April and May, and you harvest between August and September. Your long grain rice, on the other hand, you only get 18,000 litres per hectare on harvest. Your average selling price is only $1,589 per 1,000 litres. Your seeds per hectare requires a rather large 500 litres per hectare. Your growth duration is longer as well at 5 months, and you can only plant it in April and you can only harvest in September. So whilst it looks worse on paper, as we go through this blog, I think I'm still going to prefer doing long grain rice, because normal rice seems like such a farce and such a faff with the equipment that they have only shown us so far. Because we don't know if we're getting more, the more I read, the more I'm just like, I want to do long grain rice. But we'll go through it, and you can let me know in those comments down below what you think. So rice and long grain rice need different water levels, machines to sow and harvest, and seeds, of course. Long grain rice isn't sown in water like the other one. Instead, the rice paddy for long grain rice gets flooded after the sowing, not before. But let's start at the beginning. So your rice paddies then, and this looks really good, is both types of rice are planted or sown in rice fields, also called rice paddies. That's a special type of field that is deepened to allow for water retention. That's why you require open space on your land. Via the build menu, you can start the creation process. Instead of just placing down a field, you can shape it into any size or form. And this really does make me excited, because it looks like the creation and the build menu and everything else looks a lot better, a lot more detailed. Your landscaping tools, as a result, I'm hoping are also more better and detailed. And what this implies is that instead of when you place a building down or you do something that's landscaping and it doesn't make it level, it sort of raises the land to the thing you've placed. And I'm hoping that this way you can properly smooth it down, level it off before you place the building or the field or whatever you want to do, to make it so that it is easier to do that as total. So even though this is just showing rice paddies, it makes me hopeful for other aspects of the game. Your rice greenhouses. This one is optional. You can buy saplings at the dealership, or you can build a special greenhouse dedicated to cultivating rice saplings. If your agricultural ambitions rely on increased rice production, you should look at growing them yourself. So this is pretty standard stuff, right? You can buy the saplings from the dealership, but you're going to be spending way more for way less, or you can just spend up front to get the greenhouses in and grow them yourself with water and all the rest of it. I'm very excited to see how this is going to run and the price differences between the two, depending on how expensive the actual greenhouses are to set up. Planting and harvesting rice. Here's the equipment you need to plant and harvest your normal rice, the one that you pre-soak the fields for. You'll need a tractor, a cultivator, a specialized rice planter, as well as a harvester and a trailer. Some lime should also be in storage, but for the end of the whole process, because rice fields are pre-limed when you build them, which is why you don't need to apply it in the beginning, which is really, really nice. That is a stage that you are going to not need to worry about straight away. You don't have to worry about liming them immediately, which is nice. Activate the water pump to flood the field, then plant the saplings. Since the rice planter will take care of fertilization, you don't need an additional fertilizer spreader either, which is nice. Not needing that extra tool, although the Brendel is absolutely amazing, not needing it to begin with is always good. The pump will automatically provide the correct amount of water. Just check your water pump daily to maintain the proper level, or you will lose seedlings and yield. All the water will be soaked up by thirsty plants by the end of the growth cycle. So again, there's going to be some micromanaging here, and I'm not really sure how it's going to work depending on how you change your month settings. Whether you're going to have to change it every day or check it every day regardless, or whether it is going to be done on a month-by-month basis, I'm not entirely sure. I know some people that are going to really like this feature. I am not one of them. It's reminding me of the horses. When they went in with horses and the amount that you had to do in 22 to get something out of it, is it going to be a case of too much work, not enough profit, or is it going to be worth it in the end? You'll have to let me know in the comments down below. When the rice is mature, harvest it and decide whether to sell it, store it, or process it into products. Grow another batch of rice, apply lime to the field and cultivate the paddy after harvesting. Lime is only needed after a few harvests. Check the field info to see if it is needed, which is pretty fair and standard, right? Lime isn't needed after every yield, but every so often you're going to need to relime the field to balance out those acidities. The thing that concerns me about this are the harvester and the planter. This is very worrying because it hasn't sort of said anywhere that we're getting other types of planter or harvester, and it's something that I brought up many times as I've gone over the fact sheets and everything, because they are slow, they are small, and they're going to take forever. So if you make a rice paddy that is too big and you want to do normal rice, you're going to take days to plant and harvest, and a lot of people don't have that sort of time. So it's going to be dependent on how, or if there are different types of planters available in the game. But if it is just these two, I'm probably not going to touch it. I'll do it once, see how bad it is, but then after that, I'm probably going to stick with long grain rice, and here's why. With long grain rice, you don't need any water to sow your plant just yet. Long grain rice is sown dry, just fill your seeder with seeds, start sowing one row after another until the whole paddy is covered. So it's just a normal crop. You just get your seeds. It's going to require more literage for seeds, and you're not going to get as high a yield, but if you can do a larger surface area quicker, you're going to want to, right? It just makes sense as to why you wouldn't. After that, you flood the rice field and need to maintain different water levels at different growth stages. Don't worry, the pump will only allow just the right amount of water. Check your water pump daily to maintain the proper level. If you don't, you will lose some of your rice saplings. Again, there's micromanaging here. You've got to go in, you've got to manually switch it on, and then it will stop at just the right level, which is, something. But again, it's a lot of micromanaging, although it's less micromanaging than the normal rice. Once the plant is ready to harvest and has consumed all the fresh yummy water, just head over to your harvester and hop in. Your standard combine with a grain header will do the job. So again, it's less tools you're going to need. It's going to be easier to do. You can do a much larger area much quicker, especially with like the CR11 or the John Deere that they are showcasing here. Sell it, store it, or process it further at the selected production plants. But we're not done yet. To cultivate another batch of rice, apply lime to the field and cultivate a paddy with a cultivator. So again, here you can reduce your amount of equipment further. If you have a direct drill, you can just direct drill without needing to cultivate. It's going to save you a lot of time. And then here, we've got some pictures of the growth stages for normal rice and long grain rice, and they both look really, really cool. I love the way that the water reflections hit. Like, graphically speaking, they look incredible. And then to end this blog, which I'm super duper excited about, maybe goats. So if we're getting goats, this is a massive win. I love farming goats on 22, but as it's a mod and they're not amazingly done, it's a bit awkward because you can't sell the goat's milk anywhere unless you've got a sell all container. Luckily, with the map that I'm playing on at the minute, Oberthal has goat production built into the map, which is huge. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to come up with that and how that's going to go. Let me know what you think of long grain rice and normal rice in those comments down below. Don't forget to check the description to see the link for pre-ordering FS25. We are 7 people ordering the year 1 DLC away from being able to move up to bronze partner, which is absolutely amazing. And it would be awesome if this video, you've watched it, you like it, and you decide to support the channel that way. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.